What is going on, everyone? Tiezzi-Tech coming at you today with another video. And a few months back, or a month back, I'm not really good with time, but not that long ago, there was the whole hardware unboxed and NVIDIA scandal, and the community did a great job of not just rallying behind hardware unboxed, but also standing up and calling out NVIDIA and showing them that we were not okay with what they were doing there. And NVIDIA seems to have gotten the message. And so we need to do the same now with Asus. We need to raise the hoopla once again. And so what is Asus doing? Well, they are now scalping their own graphics cards and using the tariffs as an excuse to do so. They are seeing what is going on with, cards selling on eBay for way overpriced and all of that madness. And they're like, you know what? We want to cash in on that too. And we're going to use these tariffs as a new excuse. And how do we know that this is actually what's going on? Well, when you actually do just a little bit of research into this, you'll see that the tariffs are going to be affecting things they're going to be raising things between 7 and 25%, and they're not going to be affecting all components that make a graphics card. A graphics card is going to be, not only the GPU, but the entire PCB and all the components that it takes to make the PCB, the GDDR6 or 6X or whatever they're using, and all of that stuff. So if we just, say that every single component that goes into making the entire graphics card is going to be affected and at the highest level of 25%, then we should expect price increases of 25%, right? Wrong. They have price increases as much as 66%, some 50%. There are some that are at 25%, but they're just all over the board, and there's none around 75%. It's basically the floor is 25%, the ceiling is 66%, and somewhere in that range is what they are now going to be charging. And so, yeah, this is just obvious that they are just choosing to do this and using this as an excuse and taking advantage of the desperation of their customers and the terrible GPU market. And the other thing to me that shows that this is clearly just a decision to be greedy is that this was literally overnight. We've been in these trade wars for a while. We've had these tariffs and all these issues. And when these tariffs, come around, it normally takes a few months, maybe even 6 months. It always depends, but it's never overnight that pricing changes. It's not literally like the tariffs, come into play and literally overnight. It takes a while for that to trickle down to the consumer. It's not instantaneous, and the fact that this was literally instantaneous shows that. And I will give Asus for credit for basically owning it and publicly coming out with the prices and how ridiculous they are going to be, probably to try to mitigate the bad publicity they knew this would, and just owning that they were greedy, and then also hoping that their excuse of the tariffs would just be bought up and we'd be stupid enough to just be like, oh man, that sucks, but yeah, that's just the way it is, with the tariffs and everything like that. No, they are just being greedy little Fs, and we need to call them out for it. We need to raise the hoopla once again, just like we did with NVIDIA and showed them that this was a bad move, because a lot of AIBs apparently are going to be following suit of Asus. I mean, this is just nuts, and I don't even want to go over the exact pricing because it's so depressing. I mean, you can look up for yourselves and see exactly how bad it is. It's freaking bad, and there's other videos that will go over the exact pricing, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is we need to band together as a community like we did before and call out Asus and let them know that this is not okay. And I am seeing videos that are calling out Asus for what they're doing, but there's a lot more that are just reporting on this, as matter of fact, and not really criticizing Asus, and we need to criticize them for this. This needs to create so much bad publicity that other AIBs won't try, and Asus will rescind it. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now and what we need to do as a community. But it's not all hopeless. So, our hopes that, in March or February that the GPU market would stabilize and things would get closer to MSRP, I don't think that's completely realistic anymore. I hope it is, but I don't think that's realistic. Now, the next big thing is really Intel coming in June and releasing their graphics card and shaking up the whole market. And I think there's a very good possibility that that will happen, because I think Intel is going to do what Ryzen did not that long ago, which was basically they came in and they offered so much value for money that it made everyone look and go like, you're offering how many cores for how many dollars? It created a lot of interest and focus within the press, within, the tech community, all that stuff, and really helped, them get an entrance into the market. And Intel's a juggernaut. They can afford to sell their products at cost or just slightly above cost just to buy their way into the market because they need a new market segment right now. They are struggling and they need some kind of new market segment to compete in. And so I think they're going to do that. I think their new graphics card and graphics card line will do that. However, of course, they're not going to be competing in the high end. This is going to be their first release, so it's not going to be stellar. But from what I have been reading, it does look like that they are going to be competing in the budget and mid-range and just offer great value, with these cards. So hopefully that will shake up the GPU market. And the other thing is Intel doesn't seem to have the same kind of stock problems that these other companies have. And so they will likely have enough stock to actually really sell these things. And that will also, shake things up there and help balance out the whole GPU market. And so, yeah, and the other thing that's good right now is CPU prices are now coming back down to earth. There was a period where 3700Xs were seeing for like $600. The 3600, the Value King, was selling for like $300, $350. And they are now all back down to, the 3600 around 200, 3700X around 300. And that's very good. That's good. And not only that, but Zen 3, I am now getting a lot more alerts that they are coming in stock, which is great. And I am actually not trying to buy one. I just like to have all the stock alerts just to monitor where the market and the supply is. And it seems like things are improving on the CPU side of things. So that's at least good. GPUs might be screwed, but CPUs seem like they're going to balance out much quicker than GPUs. So that is good. And hopefully Intel makes a really strong entrance into the market and really shake things up. But yeah, with all that said, time to raise the hoopla once again. We need to call out Asus for what they're doing and band together as a community, create some bad PR for them so they know that this is not worth trying again in the future, and hopefully they will rescind these prices. Maybe they won't, maybe they will, I don't know, but it's at least worth a freaking shot, right? I mean, what can it hurt raising some bad PR for them and some bad publicity? How can it hurt us, the consumer? It can only help us, so it's worth a damn try. So, yeah, with that, I will leave you. I hope you have a great day, and yeah, see you next time.